Hello and welcome to another wonderful episode of Iron Port. This program is proudly brought to you by Serene Insurance, Gull PLC, the Ghana Revenue Authority, Ghana Link, Meridian Port Services, and Phoenix Insurance. Our proud media partner is the Business and Financial Times. This program is powered by the Ghana Ports and Harbours Authority. Alright, so over the weekend, the Ghana Ports and Harbours Authority held a sensitization event on its occupational health, safety and environment policies, and this sought to educate and also inform the port stakeholders on the need for them to comply with these policies. Let's take excerpts of that sensitization event.
Like every well-meaning corporate organization, the health, safety, and environmental consciousness of workers is a crucial component of the culture of the Ghana Ports and Harbours Authority. To this end, the OHSC Committee of GPHA has embarked on a sensitization drive on the occupational health, safety, and environment policies within the port enclave to help staff and stakeholders appreciate the essence of the policy and what is required of them in its implementation. In Tema, staff and stakeholders converged at various areas of the port, including the Golden Jubilee Terminal, the Fish Market Hall at the Fishing Harbour, and Agbozu Car Park at the main harbour entrance. The chairman of the OHSC committee, who doubles as the General Manager Health Services Tema, Dr. Vitos Victor Nabisi, urged staff to be responsible for their health by reporting occupational health hazards, seeking early medical attention, and complying with OHSC protocols.
And we should keep GPHA as a national resource. Don't forget also that we are a border. It's an entry point. It's not only the airport or a flower border that's an entry point. The port is a big entry point. So we are here working that entry point, and we have a duty to play.
The General Manager Estate and Environment, James Benjamin Gazy, re-emphasized the need for proper waste disposal and management in the port community.
Also, your papers, don't throw the papers away. They are not useful. We can reuse them and we can recycle them.
Port Fire and Safety Manager Edward Heyman admonished staff and stakeholders to appropriately use personal protective equipment when within the port environment.
Some of the PP, just take for instance like overall. Normally it comes with long strips. It is not just for fans. And we advise that you don't go and cut it and make it a short strips.
The ISO coordinator of GPHA, Frances Jemima Menu, urged staff to apply occupational health and safety guidelines to maintain the organization's enviable status as an ISO certified organization.
We got certified to ISO 27001 2013, which is Information Security Management System. So all information nodes are protected. Whatever you do with the information, there's traceability.
The director of Port Tema, Sandro Poku, cautioned staff against drug and alcohol abuse.
And so this year we have to ensure that we implement this no tolerance for substance abuse to the very letter.
A float around the port community was held to drum home the need to comply with the OHSC policies and procedures.
Safety rules are a port no yesremo mo be mo amonya yesi mo sha reflector na mo she the person mo ye safe into wo cover wo na ho kama na wo the rapport no.
In Takoradi, a debate was organized to create awareness and sensitize GPHA employees and other port community stakeholders on the Port Authority's occupational health, safety and environment policy and procedures, which have been comprehensively revised to reflect the contemporary requirements and expectations of sustainable international business. The director of Port of Takoradi, Peter Mobediako, backed by the GPHA OHSC Committee Chairman, Dr. Vitos Victor Nabisi, and ISO Coordinator Frances Jemima Menu, underscored the importance of an organizational culture that prioritizes health and safety of workers and its trickle-down effect on productivity.
Important that we bring to bear the environment, because it is important that our work ethics, our production and everything that goes on is environmentally sustainable. We need to ensure that we do not pollute the environment so that at least we can hand over to the next generation a sustainable environment, a very healthy environment, so that they can also thrive.
We have put the policies together, policies that go beyond ISO. These policies are really, really put to good use, not only within among the staff, but even external stakeholders, those who do business with us, contractors, concessionaires, and all that, suppliers and all that, our vendors. These are people we deal with day in, day out. They should know what we have in the document which relates to them, and they should comply with certain provisions in our laws, in our guidelines, in our policies, so that together we'll keep our workplace safe, we'll keep our workplace healthy, and at the end of the day, we will not pollute the environment.
This is just the beginning. There are more awareness programs that will take different forms to come within the year and years ahead. We ask the general public to come on board to help the authority to have its performance in occupational health and safety and environment improved.
Also present was the Harbour Master for the Port of Takoradi, Captain James Richmond Quayson, General Manager Legal Joshua Nimako, Acting General Manager Administration Kwabna Edusafo, who all resounded the need for staff to follow rules and guidelines spelled out in the organization's OHSC policy.
All right, so Iron Port decided to delve deeper into GPHA's occupational health, safety and environment policies, and we had in the studio some officials from GPHA to tell us the rationale for these policies and what they seek to achieve. Let's take a listen.
It does appear that most of the work that you do hinges on compliance. You try to drum home the need for stakeholders and staff to be compliant with, OHSC policies and all that. And that's what secures us the ISO certification. Why is that?
Thank you for the question. These OHSC issues are also requirements in the ISO standards. So complying with them shows that we are committed to keeping our ISO standards.
Right.
And it also tells the world that we are a responsible organization. GPHA works or interlays or interacts with international bodies as well. We're also compliant with IMO requirements or regulations, and then the ILO and all that. And some of these issues are outlined in these as well.
Right.
So in order to demonstrate to the world that we are really up for business, we need to comply with them. And it also helps us to keep our ISO 45,001 and 14,001 certification. Yes.
All right, so in terms of compliance, how does the OHSC committee and your unit, that's the ISO unit, work in tandem with other departments to ensure effective compliance?
A typical example is what happened last week, where we had awareness programs. In our plans, we have training programs. So some of the training programs that ISO undertake for staff, some are discussed by the OHSC committee. We also carry out internal audits. We do our walkthroughs. And I was very happy last year we were able to pull top management led by DG to the field. Takoradi, we pulled the DP.
Yes.
And then Tema, the DP joined the DG.
Yes.
This shows commitment to ensuring that these OHSC requirements or issues are addressed adequately.
Right. So let me come to Mr. Gazi and find out from you whether you've done an audit of the current environmental challenges that we have within the port community and what the authority is doing to get these issues addressed or ameliorated.
For air quality, we are introducing measures to reduce it,
right,
especially dust. We have developed under this occupational health and safety document, develop SOPs that all clinker operators, we used to have only gas, then Dangote joined, and now we have about 9 of them. And I hear people more are still knocking at our doors. They use various methods in loading and discharging of their cargo, and they create a lot of dust. So we have developed SOPs for them to be applied to all these operators.
Right.
And Thankfully, the current monitoring manager is applying these SOPs strictly. And anybody who flout them gets a fine.
Yeah.
We are not interested in the money, but we just want people to stick to the regulations.
That was going to be my next
with
question.
it.
Whether there were any punitive measures for intransigent stakeholders or staff?
They pay anytime you flout any of them. For instance, when you're using a truck, you're not supposed to fill above the truck level, the bucket level. Some, because they want to discharge as fast as possible, will heap the truck above there. And when they are traveling along the route, they spill.
Yes.
And it's a dust material.
Yeah.
When they spill, the dust is over the place. And the security manager is tasked to stop any vehicle that load above the limit.
Yes.
And find that
the vehicle.
So it's working. It's working. I'm sure that with time we'll be able to achieve the levels that we want. And we also bring in a monitoring system to monitor the dust levels to see whether we are within. At Terminal 3, monitoring is going on. We'll have some devices there to do the monitoring.
Have we gotten some results yet?
Yeah, we have some results that are all within far
Acceptable
below the limits, but we've not measured in where the problems are.
Okay.
So we're going to transfer the devices to where the dust activity is.
Right.
And we believe that we'll get some result by the end of this quarter.
Right.
Yes.
Okay.
And when it comes to water pollution,
Yes.
where we have liquid waste coming through the municipal, the communities
Yes.
into the drains, we've engaged the assembly to do something about it. And we've threatened them. If they don't, we'll block access to all this source of...
So they will have to look for the alternative
Yes.
channels.
Yes. So it's something like the ISO coordinator will be engaging our tenants
Right.
to ensure that they comply with the environmental schedules that they have assigned to with EPA.
Right.
If you don't, we'll report to EPA and we'll try to take appropriate action to protect the environment, the port environment.
Right. In the event of an emergency or an incident, if you can tell us if there are any established response and evacuation procedures in place and how these are communicated to the relevant staff and stakeholders.
Yes, thank you very much. In fact, the ports have emergency contact system 24/7, whereby you can call any of the contacts and then your issue will be received and then the appropriate discipline or the area will respond to. We have the port control, we have the port security, we have the port fire, and we have the health services. In fact, you call any of these contacts have been posted in the port everywhere, and all the workers have been educated upon, and then you can easily reach anybody. These areas today run 24/7. At any time you call, somebody will respond. When there are incidents, there are procedures we all follow, depending upon the type of incidents and depending upon the type of the leading department who will take up, other department will follow suit and then assist, ensuring that we control it and mitigate it. In fact, this has been a very good success for the port, and then for over the years, we rehearse it and then also always update it, and then we are very conversant with it. When there are incidents and then we call ambulance or fire, within 2 to 3 minutes, they will be at your reach. And this is an aspect where we think it is good for the port for now. There is a hope for GPHA emergency system in the port. Unlike before, basically you will see if the CEO himself is up to the task. The directors are with us, and then with the program we organize, the director was in the program from beginning to end, both Tema and Takoradi, the HODs, the GMs. I think this is very exciting.
When you say CEO, I'm sure you are referring to the Director General.
Yes, the Director General,
Yes.
the Director General himself is with us and agree with us on this concept. They
Right.
have been guiding us and ensuring that we go. They don't want to see us maybe going against the policy and then the regulations. They want to see how we meet it. Again, to all the safety requirements that we request, they provide them. Speaking to you, I think I've just received body cameras for my session, my department, to do monitoring and report on them. And that tells you that this becomes a booster and motivation for myself and my staff to ensure that whenever we go around and there are indications, there are incidents, we can have evidence to push them and ensure that I think corrective measures are well taken and then addressed.
Awesome. Let me come to Chairman of the committee, Dr. Vitus Victor Anabisi, and find out from you how you are able to ensure that staff of the authority are well informed and trained to, as it were, enhance the understanding and appreciation of the OHSC policies that you have developed.
Perfect. Thank you once again, Ken. OHSC policies that we are talking about does not concern only employees. It reaches out to all the external stakeholders in the port. So we have the role of staff and we also have the role of the stakeholders. Yeah. Now, just to add a bit to what Mr. Heyman said before I go on to your question.
Yes, sir.
The thing is that for accidents, near misses, incidents and all that, there is a rigorous regime how we handle those things. Thank God, top management has seen it necessary to put at the disposal of the committee and disposal of the entire port resources. We have got inadequate budgetary allocations to take care of health and safety issues.
Right.
PPEs is the example that will just really come to mind. Personal protective equipment.
Yeah.
If you come to the port, everywhere in every session, the relevant PPEs are used. And so one of the main functions of the Fire and Safety Department is ensure that people use their PPEs appropriately and correctly. So, and it's all money. It's a lot of investment in this area. So staff come to work assured that, look, we'll have enough adequate protective equipment to use and then go back home safely. So we don't only use give PPE to staff. We ensure that external stakeholders who come into the port also do that. They must comply. It's true that some of them will say, oh, it's expensive, they will not, but the laws and regulations do not allow them to come in without the PPEs. So we'll ensure that they all follow suit. Another area that we ensure that accidents are reduced to the minimum is that contractors, concessionaires, when they are signing their contracts with the authority, these our policies become part of it.
Right.
They are educated on our policies, and they take note of them, and they are expected to conform to our policies and comply. So they are supposed to prepare their own OHSC policy documents, which will be in conformance with our policies, so that we can sign off from day one. They know what they're supposed to do, what they're not supposed to do, what is expected of them, and all that. Training, as the Fire and Safety Manager said, is free.
Right.
If they don't have the capabilities or capacity, we help them with the training. We've produced a lot of policy documents, including the Safety Handbook,
Yes.
which is a very, very key document that we use in the port that every port user must be aware of. But you see, we are aware that if you have policies and regulations and procedures, if you do not have a penalty system, people are not deterrent enough. They are not deterred enough. So my colleague, Mr. Gezu, spoke on that.
Yes.
When you're talking about pollution of the environment, there are things that will deter you. I mean, we'll have tariffs.
Right.
If you flout the laws, we do. But that's not our ultimate aim. Please comply so that we all work together in a safe environment.
Right.
Go home, make your money safely, and keep the port safe. It's the responsibility of GPHA to continue to maintain the ports.
Yeah.
We build the ports, we operate them, and we maintain them. So in the maintenance, safety is key.
Absolutely.
Occupational health, we've just been talking about it over and over. What is it actually? If you look at the occupational health and safety, it's the discipline that is concerned with preserving and protecting human resources in the workplace. That's the simplest definition you can have, ILO and WHO.
Yes.
Yes, the discipline that's concerned with what? Preserving and protecting human resources in the workplace.
Yes.
this summarizes it all. The workplace, whether it's GPHA, whether there are other business people, contractors, they have a workplace.
Right.
And so we must ensure that these policies are implemented to the letter.
So those were some environmental, health and safety tips that port users need to comply with, as well as staff of the authority, in order to stay safe in the port. Let's take a listen to some of the comments you've been sharing with us.
Hello Iron Port. I am Doris from Tema Community 1. Kudos to the management of GPHA. These things take time, but with the energy I have sent from the start, I am sure the momentum will be kept. Hi, I am Prince from Tema. I'm happy to hear GPHA is doing something about the dust. This is long overdue. Hello, I am Albert from Takoradi. When safety rules are followed, accidents will be reduced on the port. Kudos GPHA.
Eye on Port returns after this break.
Ohima, no be me taking number first. By you. You tell me say take your number give me.
Guys, no, I'm tired. I'll go on a date with whoever gets here first.
Princess, really? Okay, I dey come.
Shut up!
Mame, feel me talk na mwati. Boss, fill my tank with Super XP Ron 95.
Blow up with Super XP Ron 95 and Diesel XP high performance products from Goyle.
Sorry, Tony got here first, so I'm stepping with him.
Oh, cut him. Hey, go for mami.
Choose Super XP Ron 95 and Diesel XP for an energizing driving experience. Always go for Goyle Super XP Ron 95. Goyle, good energy.
Goyle is good energy. Electricity, then pay your taxes. Yeah, our taxes, our future.
Because you see, without our taxes, we wouldn't have good roads, good schools, better hospitals, streetlights, and other very important social amenities. When we pay our taxes, we give our children free and quality education. Talga, my money too small. Why should I pay my tax? Look, small. Salifo, it doesn't matter how small or big your business or income is. You still have to pay your taxes. The little taxes from each and every one of us, when put together, could give your community clean water or that deprived school with tables and chairs. Please pay your taxes. It is your responsibility. It is your civic duty. It is the law.
Impressive factory. If only I had listened to you, I wouldn't have been in this mess. That devastating fire virtually wiped out the whole factory and my warehouse.
Remember my misfortunes last year? Serene Insurance Asset All Risk Fire policy that I took were there to pay for my damaged stocks in the warehouse, and my machines that were affected by the floods have been replaced. My accident vehicle is back on the road thanks to Serene Insurance motor policy. Currently, my goods are on the high seas covered with their marine cargo insurance policy. I was just telling Ajima about Serene Insurance. Oh, Ajima, tell him more.
As a road contractor, I make sure I do my contractors all risk insurance for the projects and then workers' compensation for all the workers on site. With Serene Insurance, they will make sure they will cover your unknown tomorrow today.
Serene Insurance, a new face of insurance. Call us now.
MPS Terminal 3 is Africa's new state-of-the-art container terminal at Tema Port. For manufacturers, agro-processors and traders, the new port means business can be done faster. This infrastructure boost will improve Ghana's port handling capacity, connect more trading routes, and oil the engine of growth for the economy, creating greater opportunities across all sectors as Africa's markets merge and become the largest trading bloc globally. MPS, we connect, you thrive.
Business and life can be like the sea sometimes. Sometimes serene, sometimes calm, sometimes turbulent, and at times it brings the unexpected. However it is like, trust Phoenix Insurance for your home, car, business, and marine insurance needs. Call 0302-246-319 or 0243-690-492.
At Phoenix, you experience a delightful service delivered with wisdom.
You welcome back from the break. Now, news and activities happening within the port and maritime industry next.
The Greenwich Meridian passes through Tema and meets the equator southwards in the Gulf of Guinea, making Tema the closest coastal city to the geographic center of the world. This year, to mark the day of Valentine, the Tourist Club of the Ghana Ports and Harbours Authority decided to take a short pilgrimage to Tema Community 1, where the Greenwich Meridian passes through. This was to shed some light on the port city's bright position on the globe, while promoting the consumption of Ghanaian chocolate. This was done in collaboration with the Ghana Tourism Authority. The Member of Parliament for Tema West, Carlos Ahenkra, described this initiative as a novelty of cultural significance.
In other countries where this line passes through, the significance of having this line going through the townships, the country itself, brings a lot of prestige to the people of that country.
Meanwhile, the Port Ladies Association of the Ghana Ports and Harbours Authority commemorated the Valentine's Day celebration by exchanging gifts to promote harmony among female employees at the ports. The meeting was also an opportunity to discuss strategic plans for the new year so far as PLUS projects are concerned. The Port Ladies Association, which has been in existence for over 30 years, is currently made up of over 500 female employees of the Ghana Ports and Harbours Authority, indicating the growing participation of females in the maritime industry.
All right, so it's now time to take some international port and maritime news. Greek ship owner Danos Corporation has placed a $188.4 million order for the construction of two methanol-ready 8,258 TEU container ships at Yangzinyang shipyard in China. The latest fleet renewal move brings the company's order book to 12 eco-methanol-ready container ship new builds with an aggregate capacity of 91,430 TEU. The deliveries are spread across 2024 and 2027, with the latest of two additions scheduled for the fourth quarter of 2026 and the first quarter of 2027 respectively. Daniel said that all its ships under construction will be fitted with alternative maritime power units and built under the latest requirements of the International Maritime Organization. This means that they will meet Tier 3 emission standards and Energy Efficiency Design Index. French container ship major CMA CGM has welcomed into the fleet CMA CGM Mermaid, the first ship in a series of 10 new 2,000 TEU container ships powered by liquefied natural gas. The fleet has been designed in cooperation with French shipbuilder Chantiers des Atlantiques and Danish engineering firm Odense Marine Technique, which converted the concept into an industrial prototype. The vessel construction was entrusted to South Korea's shipbuilding major Hyundai Mipo Dockyard. Optimization of energy efficiency is at the heart of the vessel design. We have the word of the day next. Gangway refers to an opening in the bulwark of the ship, allowing passengers to board or leave the ship. Now, schedules of vessels in the port, those at anchorage and those expected in the coming week, plus the Bank of Ghana exchange rate you need to know to clear your goods from the port next. All right, so this is where we draw the curtain on this week's episode of Eye on Port. Thank you for watching and thanks to the entire crew. Join us same time next week.